How's it going, Dexter? You enjoying this nice sunny day in January? Well, if we're going to be growing our best garden yet, we're going to have to get started. So, all right, everyone, welcome to what is our first garden journal of 2022. I'm really excited about this growing season, and I'm really excited about having you all along with me here to grow with me what is going to be, like I said, our best garden yet. So I encourage you to hit that subscribe button. In fact, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified of our upcoming episodes so you can follow along with us this season and see all the great things that we've got growing on in our gardens. I also encourage you to get down in the description below. There's a link to our Facebook Let's Get Growing Gardening group. I'd really like to see all of you there joining our urban gardener community and show us all of the things that you've got growing on in your garden as well. So it's the middle of January. It's a really nice day today, actually. So I'm really excited about kind of showing you guys around our garden spaces that we're going to be growing in this season. Mind you, it is actually still the middle of winter, so everything doesn't look all that nice right now, but we do have some work in store for us to make it all a lot better coming up here over the next few weeks. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go over our garden spaces, talk about our garden plan, and get all of this great garden adventure going. Again, thank you all so much for joining with me. So one of the things I've been doing over the last couple of seasons is actually writing down in a journal the different things that I've got growing on in my garden. This is something I really encourage you to do. It's helped me really organize the things that I've been doing in my garden. Now, of course, this here is a video garden journal, so we'll be showing you a lot of the things that we're doing in our gardens through the video that you'll be writing down in your garden journal. So I encourage you, just go out and get a simple sketchbook. This is a nice and inexpensive sketchbook. It's got blank pages and allows you to write up different lists. And if you're inclined enough, you can draw out your little different garden spaces so that you have a really good idea of what you're planting, when you're planting, and then the other things that will be going in after those things have been harvested. So lots of different things that you can put in here and make notes with in your garden journal. I encourage you to do it, but let's go inside. I'm going to show you what our garden spaces look like. So one of the other things I'm also doing this time of year is I'm really digging into my gardening books. I've got a lot of different gardening books that I like to use to get a good idea of how and what I want to do in the gardens here. So I've got this week by week vegetable gardener's handbook. It's really good because, I mean, it's really telling you some really good ideas of what you should be thinking about at this time of year, all week by week, based on your last frost date. And then you just follow along with the book. I think this was a really good book. I'm glad I got this one. Been using it for the last couple of years. It's a good general idea of a lot of stuff. You do follow along with the dates that you are expecting your last frost. It's also good to get into books that are about your region and your area, so you have a really good idea of what you can best grow for your areas. This one here, I got this book the other year, and it's West of the Cascades. And it's a good organic gardening book. I really like getting into this. It's got some good stuff. But another good thing to do is get a hold of your local extension. So I've got this one here, Garden for the Rogue Valley. This is right for where I live, right here in the Rogue Valley. This is going to give me really, really great specific information for my area. So you can get a hold of one of your local extensions in order to find one of these sort of guides for your local area too. So I really like getting into these books right now for a good idea of what I'm doing in the garden and all of that. But I also like to just get into some other books too. And so one of them I've been kind of getting into, I got this book recently called Worms Eat My Garbage, how to set up and maintain a worm composting system. So That's something I'm thinking about getting into and looking at. This is a really great book. I've been really actually enjoying it. It's got a lot of really great information and really gives you a good examination of different types of worm composting systems. So I like that one. That's really great. And of course, I had to get the Modern Homestead Garden from Gary Polarchik. Gary is an awesome YouTuber. He has lots and lots of great information. I learned a lot from Gary over the years. So definitely had to get in and get his book and check it out too. Also, 101 Organic Gardening Hacks. Trying to find some other nice little tricks to be using in the garden. This one's here from Shauna Coronado. Great book. I've been enjoying this so far. It's got lots of great ideas in it. And kind of the evening read, I found this book here, All the President's Gardens. Madison's cabbages to Kennedy's roses, how the White House grounds have grown with America, from Marta McDowell. This has been a really cool read, getting some really cool historical garden knowledge. But yeah, this one here, I really recommend that book. So again, one of the things I really like to do early on in the planning of my garden is to kind of sketch out the layout of all the different garden spaces that I have. So that's a real good idea about the garden journal and having that sketchbook to be able to do that. But I do have this really nice whiteboard for all of you right here. So that's what I'm going to do for all of you guys, is give you a good look at the layout of our garden here. I'll sketch all of that out, and then we can talk about some of the ideas and things that I'm thinking about here early on, and then those will be some of the things that we'll be looking at doing as projects in the garden in the coming weeks. So after I sketch this all out and we take a look at that, I'll also take you outside and give you a quick tour around here in the middle of winter on our nice day and show you those garden spaces and what they look like right now, even though they need a little bit of work. So there we have it. We've got a good representation of what the spaces around our gardens are, all kind of mapped out here on this layout. Mind you, it is not to scale whatsoever, but what we've done is try to give ourselves just a good idea of the different spaces that we have around the gardens so that we can keep them in mind as we're thinking about the things that we're going to be doing here in the next coming weeks. We've got a lot of different projects and things that we've got to be thinking about. Up here is the opening of the alleyway in the front of the house, because we garden along two alleyways, one going along here along the house, and then another one splitting the backside of the block down the backside of our place, which we garden in all of these different spots along the alleyway, except for one good spot here that our neighbor gardens in. He was pretty much the inspiration for a lot of our alleyway gardening that we did, so it's going to be exciting to see some of the things that he'll be planting in his garden as well too, so we'll be able to keep an eye on that too. But one of the first main projects I'll say is these blueberries that are right up here. We've got to do something with these blueberries. I planted them out a couple of seasons ago. I'll put an iCard up above for you all to check out the video that we did when we planted those out several seasons ago, but they haven't been doing too well. In fact, we lost one of the plants this last year as well. I think it has to do a lot with just how much sun and heat that they're getting in this location, and I've also gotten a lot of different feedback from people talking about how blueberries just do really, really well in containers. And seeing as how we're all about small spaces and containers, urban gardening, good idea. We're going to transplant those blueberries into some containers. And what I'm going to do is move them down the alleyway a bit. And what we'll do is we'll build out another one of these beds right here so that we can eventually start utilizing and growing and having some more vertical space. So it's my idea to add some trellising to these beds here and possibly to the new bed that I'm thinking about putting in up here. We'll put in some trellising so that we can get some vertical growth on our garden as well. Lots of great things that we can grow that I love to grow up a trellis. So I'm not too sure exactly what we're going to pick out. Those are things that we'll plan out as we're thinking about our gardens coming up. So again, if you have any ideas, get down in the description. Let me know if you have any ideas for anything we could possibly be growing. Here we've got right across the way in the front of the alleyway our little triangle of strawberries that we've got growing here. We've got our herb garden. I've got a hugelkultur box that we've got here on the side of the house that I want to get planting in real soon. So I'm thinking about getting some greens or some spinach or some things like that started up here real soon, and we'll get those right out. We do have some shards growing in this in-ground bed, which is in front of one of our fences in the back of our back patio area. So we'll have to plan out some things here, but we do got some good shards still growing there. And this is our back patio area. We've got a lot of different garden boxes that we grow in, so we'll have to be planning. We got more strawberries here. Strawberries. Oh, in fact, right up here we got an apple tree I didn't put in. So there's an apple tree there. In fact, we also had one growing here because this represents here the back of our carport area. So this is our carport area, our back patio area, and this apple here will end up getting moved. We're going to move that over to here is what I think what we're going to do. As we got to do something different with that carport space between our different carport boxes that we have right there, because this backspace that we usually use right here is some space that we get from our neighbor, which is our neighbor's space, and they are going to be moving. So we're going to have to wait until we get a new neighbor, find out what's going on with them, and see about what's going to go on with that space. So we also have our basically our wood box that I built out to hold out our 5-gallon wicking buckets, which we grow a lot of our peppers in. So that's going to be something we're going to move and relocate over to here. So, you know, we got all sorts of those sort of little different projects like that going on, things that I'm thinking about right now, probably a lot more still to come, but it's just kind of an idea of some of the things that we're actually thinking about and we're doing right now. So all right, now we've seen what the gardens look like, all drawn out and all of that, which is a really good idea to be able to see your overall plan as you're kind of looking at what you're going to be doing next. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to give you a little walk-through, kind of little short, quick tour of all those different growing spaces that we were talking about. So again, remember, as I said, it is still middle of winter time. And also I've kind of taken a little bit of a restart approach to our garden this year. So things are still got a lot to do. We've got pruning and all sorts of things to get caught up this year. But again, just kind of a real quick walkthrough here to show you what I just showed you on our drawing. Here's our strawberry patch up front. And then we've got our blueberries. And across the way here, there's the ratty looking herb garden. Definitely needs some work there. There's our hugelkultur bed. Across the way, looking at our other alleyway beds here. Again, that'll be really nice to have some use of vertical space there. And then an extra bed down at the end there will be great. Here again is my neighbor's space here. He tells me he's going to be out planting and working on his garden this year. He didn't do much last year, so it'd be nice to see. He's actually been out doing something here, getting this ready. So he was the inspiration for all the things I've done in the alleyways and taking up some of this extra space back here. He was gardening out here long before I was. Again, let's have to figure out something else for this area. And there's where we're going to be putting those blueberries and reworking whatever we're going to do there with the potatoes and stuff. Again, also, I do suggest that you all get down in the comments section below and give me any sort of suggestions you might have for things that we can grow, or any ideas you might want to share with us. Might come up with something really cool that we could use and actually do here in the garden. So I'd love to hear anything you might have. And then here again, here's that other alleyway right down here. And up underneath the leaves, all of those leaves are decomposing fast. Let's see if we can find one. Look, there we go, right there. There's one of them garlic, just poking out a little bit. Again, like all them other flowers, probably wondering what is going on this year with such a warm January. So, but it'll give them some good working on them root systems. We still got some really cold nights, so down in there they're tucked away and nice right now. So hopefully we'll get some good garlic this year. Here's one of our compost beds. We'll be turning that and looking in and seeing what we got up under there real soon. Another one of our strawberry beds. And then right along the fence line back here, we will be eliminating a few of these buckets. We'll grow in ground with several different things. And I'm still not too sure exactly what we're going to be doing with this space, because again, most of this will not be used. We won't be using that area because of our neighbor moving. So, and then there's our wood apparatus, or whatever, the thing that we have to hold our 5-gallon buckets that we grow our peppers in. So first we're going to be growing something, broccoli or something like that. I think maybe it's kind of what I'm thinking about. And then we'll transfer over to the peppers later in the season when we do that. And then there's our trees here that we will relocate up to the front. So when it comes time to transplanting out the peppers, we will be moving this from out back here over into this space here in the back of our carport, which is mean that we're going to have to cut that back. So we'll have to kind of cut this box up, pull it back a little bit to allow for space for that to go in there, which will be nice. This is a great place for getting good sun, so our peppers are going to love this spot here. We do got some bunching onions that are growing in the box right now. We'll have to transplant out some of these into another part of the garden. We had a bunching onion over the last couple of years growing down in the end there that seeded out. We got all these nice new plants growing in during the winter time right now. And here is our apple tree. This apple tree did really well for us this last year. We're going to prune it back just a little bit here in the next week or two, get it ready for this next season. And we're also going to move it over into our back patio area here. So we got our other apple tree up on the stand over there. We'll have a little stand we'll put over here. I'm going to kind of move some of this stuff around. A few of the boxes need a couple of little repairs. We're going to kind of fix up some of the drip that we've got set up back here and get this started up real soon. I've got a cover here that a neighbor gave me so that I can also get set up as a nice little area for some cold weather growing. We haven't gotten anything going yet, but we're getting ready to get started. Did get a new cover for that little greenhouse thing coming, so we'll have to get that recovered, work on those rain barrels and get them cleaned up. Just get this whole area set up. That's going to be our project basically, I think, over the next couple of weeks as we're planning out and getting everything ready to get started. Oh, and we do have this side up here. There's some chard that we still got growing out here, as well as some other garlic and other flowers and things popping up in this bed back here. So yeah, lots of cleanup work, lots of things to do back here. Can't wait to get going this year. Glad you're all with me. All right, everyone, what a nice little start to our garden journals this year. A little look around at all of what we've got growing on outside in our garden spaces, all to give ourselves a really good idea of what we're looking at so we can think about what we did last year and plan ahead for what we're going to do this year. So I'm going to keep digging into those books, and I'm going to keep reading and planning out some of the things that we're going to do over the next few weeks. So we're going to get started right this next week. We've got a lot of those projects that need to kind of get worked on and get done. We're going to fix up some of those boxes. We've got to get that patio all arranged out. There's a lot of things for us to get going and get started as we start preparing to start sowing seeds and start getting this year growing. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about having all of you along with me again. Hit that subscribe button so you can keep following along with our garden journals every Sunday. I'll put these out and I'll let you guys know what we got growing on here in our home gardens. I look forward to seeing you all next week. That you can join along with all of us in the garden journal of the growing. Oh, that's a big bird. Wow. That thing's huge. So all right, everyone. Think. Oh, we'll get it. We'll get it. One of the things I started doing over the was organizing my right now. Whoa, let's not go so much. Kind of create some shade there. So I'm really glad that that's that.